Okay, so this is SparkleDart, by the way. This is me back again to tell you more about my days and my life and my history and my friends and my arm wrestling competition that I went to last weekend. But I think I talked about something earlier on about how much I fucking burp on the show. It's, you know, it's part of who I am now. If you watch the show and you expected me not to burp anymore, you're kind of watching the wrong show, I think. So be sure to keep that in mind. I'm not going to change who I am for you people, because I think you need to change who you are for me. If you're not tolerant for who I am and what I do, then maybe you need to change what it is that you like to listen to, watch, record albums. I don't know what, you know, if you like Friendster or Napster or whatever it is that you like to do, that's fine with me. But if you want me to get on that kind of social network, I'm not going to. It's not part of what I like to do. Honestly, I set up a Twitter account not too long ago, and I've only posted one tweet on there, and I'm probably only going to post one for at least a little while, because I'm not super into the idea of doing a tweet every single day, or however often people do tweets. Is it like once a day? What kind of a situation is the Twitter? You know, it's something that I don't really understand. I'm not part of this modern world. I'm not connected all the time. It's not who I am. And if people like to do that kind of thing, then I'm not going to question it. But if I'm not going to be part of it, then I'd beg you so much so to not try to drag me into it. You know, you can subscribe to me on Twitter. Maybe I'll post there. Probably not. But if I don't post there, please don't bother me. I get enough of that at home from the wife as it is. So if you're going to pester me, at least pester me about something that is a little bit more relevant to the things that I like to do. Because, you know what, I'm not here to entertain you. I'm just doing this for myself. You know, people always said, Mr. SparkleDart, you're so quiet and reserved, you know, you need to open up more. So my way of opening up more is by creating a YouTube channel in which I have to talk all the time. Otherwise, I get bad ratings and all sorts of bad reviews, and people downvote me and all sorts of stuff like that. And maybe somebody comes to my house and throws boiling oil all over my fence. Then I have to get a new fence because the other one was partially melted for some reason. You know what I'm saying? Oh, but I don't see how I should have to deal with. I shouldn't have to put up with any of that, because I'm a nice guy, and I would never hurt anybody who I guess hadn't hurt me in the past. You know what I'm saying? I would only be kind and thankful for the people who do enjoy me and what I do and what I like to pretend I like to do, even if I'm just, you know, putting up a big show, whatever. You know, it's me, it's SparkleDart. I'm your friend. We all know that. We've all discussed that at length. And for you to think anything different would be just, I guess, kind of rude of you. You know, I'm only here for you and for the people who like to listen to me at home. You know. So, I guess, please stop leaving me hate mail. It's really starting to irritate me, because I don't like to be hated. Nobody likes to be hated. And if you're going to be hated, then you should at least be hated for the right reasons. So, I guess going back on what I said earlier, I watched the Pixar movie Inside Out. It's a good movie. Go watch it. It's a good movie. But I also watched another movie today. It was called We Need to Talk About Kevin. And it's a movie where Ezra Miller stars Ezra Miller and Tilda Swinton and John C. Reilly in a non-comedy role, which I guess is kind of strange. But if you've ever seen What's Eating Gilbert Grape, you've seen Mr. John C. Reilly in a non-comedy role in the past, in which he was just some random townie, where Johnny Depp's character, the little boy, had to take care of his retard brother, Leo DiCaprio. Of course, I love seeing Leo DiCaprio playing a retarded boy. It's funny when non-retarded people try to play retarded characters, because they have to really put on an act. And the thing is, Leo was a retarded boy in that movie, but the thing is, he's not a retarded man in real life. And the thing is, I said the thing is way too many times just now. The thing is, Downies do have different, like, physical features to the face. It's actually true. I'm not saying that to get a lark out of you or whatever. Downies have, like, different physical features, and the thing is, you'll notice that. Now, they say if you're a racist person, or if you're just somebody who's kind of ignorant to the world, They say that people of certain races all look the same. I personally think that most Japanese people look the same. It might be because I watch so much Japanese porn that it's hard for me to differentiate when they got the clothes on. But they say that people of certain races or creeds or identities have very, very different like perceptions of the world and the people in it, and they see everybody who has a certain sort of attribute as looking kind of the same. Like they say, okay, well, here's a disclaimer. I'm not racist only because this is something that I've heard, not something that I believe. I don't believe this. It's not been the case for me in the past, so don't call me racist. If you're gonna call me racist, then you're the racist. I turn that around on you real fast, so ha! Suck it, nerd. They say like the blacks and the Mexican people, they all look the same, but I don't believe that that's true. But some people do think that, and I think that the reason why people think that is because those people are part of a different like race, or like you know, they do look different. They've got different facial features than the white people, which is what I am. I guess you could say I'm white, but I'm more of an olive-skinned man. And hold on here just a second. And so because of that, it seems to me as though it's easy to lump people that you don't familiarize yourself with into a certain sort of category. And if you do that, then you're more likely to think that they all kind of fit into the same mold. They're all more similar than you'd like to believe that they should be. And that also applies to the Down syndrome folk. Unfortunately, they do have a lot of similar facial features. Okay, well that was weird. That was super strange. Thank you. Okay, so that was... I almost just had an aneurysm there. I almost just kind of went into epileptic shock. So, I apologize for that. That was my bad. I did something to the capture. It made it so it didn't capture the way it should have captured if it was going to capture everything the way it should have been captured. So, thank you for standing by me in these trying times, these dire consequences that we have. It happens all the time, and there's nothing we can do to prevent it. So please, 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 just know that I love you, and I love to give you all sorts of love and attention. So, man, I still got a couple minutes here. So, okay, I was talking about the Downies. If you've ever watched American Horror Story, there's an actress in that show who actually has the Down syndrome. Of course, in the first season, the haunted house season, it's a little girl who keeps sneaking into the house, and she's like, "Boo, I'm a ghost." Even though she's not a ghost, she just lives with her mom, who looks like she probably owned a burlesque house at one point in her life, or if not owned the burlesque house, managed the girls who worked in the burlesque house. She just, you know, she had that look about her. You know, that's all I'm saying. I'm saying that she had that look about her. Maybe she didn't. I don't know. It's really hard to say because the movie takes place in modern times, and there's not really a lot of burlesque houses around anymore. And if there were burlesque houses, you can trust me, I would be there every night instead of doing this shit all the time. You know, I would never say no to a lady. You know, I'm a good guy. The ladies love me. The ladies are all like, "Mr. SparkleDart, I can't believe you're so well informed. You're so thoughtful. You care so much about your fans and the people who love you." And I'm like, "Yes, I do, and that's exactly true. And thank you for noticing. I would never do this if it wasn't for the people who want me to do this. You know, they love me. They love the things that I do. They love getting mooned by a yellow man. Great. Thank you, fucking." I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. Mr. SparkleDart, you're a nice guy. You like to stand up for the little guy, the little man, the one who has no voice for himself because he's too timid, too afraid, too nervous. You know, I go off on tangents a lot here. I'm going to continue talking about the movie I was talking about just a minute ago. We need to talk about Kevin here in a minute after this episode's over, because I just completely nosedived that conversation, that plot point. I think it might have been because I was going off on something about how my game froze briefly, momentarily, or maybe something about the invalids, you know, the ones that I love so much. I used to have a very close cousin who was an invalid, and I loved him very dearly. He was super, you know, I loved it. He was childlike in his ways until, of course, the incident happened, and at that point I didn't have a cousin anymore, so please don't ask me about it. It's very painful for me. It's very painful for my brother Joshua and my father. You know, Joshua, I mean, he was probably the closest to my cousin, and because of that, it really, you know, it really just hit him the deepest. So I guess, Joshua, if you're watching, you know, if you need to talk, buddy, I'm always here for you. You know I am. I know you live at Mom and Dad's house, and that's fine. I'll come and visit you soon. I do live kind of far away, so it's kind of difficult for me to get over there, but I would always be happy to come over and talk to you, my brother Joshua. You know, we're best friends, we're pals, we're bros. We've been bros. I'm like 10 years older than you, but that's not really an issue. Mom and Dad decided to have a late kid, and at the time that I was entering junior high school, they're like, we've got another baby in the house, Mr. SparkleDart. They're gonna have to take care of him, help take care of him with us. You're gonna have to help change him, feed him, and, you know, read him bedtime stories about Noah's Ark and whatever else. I'm like, Mom, Dad, you really want to raise him religious in a world where religion is basically vilified at this point because of all the liberals that are coming in and the conservatives that are dying out. All those people that, you know, really would rather have you believe that there's no such thing as God, like in Penn Jillette's book, The God Delusion. He's really adamant about the things that people believe in, and for him to be so adamant about that kind of thing, it makes me uncomfortable. You know, Penn Jillette, he's he's one half of the magical group Penn and Teller. You can go see him in Las Vegas. They play all the time alongside Carrot Top. He's got his own stand-up show where he does prop comedy. Prop comedy, of course, we all know is the most hilarious form of comedy. It's something that can't be topped. It's something that can't be carrot topped. And that being said, I'd like to go ahead and make it known that my episode here is over. So thank you for watching. This has been SparkleDart. Please come back tomorrow. I love you. Mwah. Bye.